Today on the Digital Investor Podcast, I am speaking with Alyssa, who is a current student of ours, but she is breaking the mold. She is a young entrepreneur. She is only 19 years old. Wait till you hear what she has achieved in just 12 months. Well, it's actually less than 12 months, actually 9 months studying with us. But Alyssa, in the last month, has hit her goal of making $10,000 in 1 month. Not only that, she also, in one of our recent website build challenges, just blitzed it. She built a fully formed, awesome website with keyword research, content, everything in less than 45 minutes. And it's a 10-day website challenge. So normally our older members are taking 10 days. Alyssa, a 19-year-old, has put us all to shame. So this is a really inspirational interview and podcast, particularly if you're a parent or a 19-year-old yourself, or you're looking for alternative side income or a side hustle and you want to quit your 9 to 5, which is most of our community. Because in this podcast today, we're going to find out what exactly has Alyssa done, what's the strategy that she's used, where did she start, what are some of the challenges, and what advice does she have maybe for other 19-year-olds getting out there? Because she has a really interesting story, because Alyssa is in a country town here in Australia. And so, Alyssa, I'm going to welcome you on. Thank you so much for coming along today to share your recent successes.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks for having me.
It is awesome Alyssa, you know that you're such an inspiration to our community of champions. And if you're a new listener here, you're about to hear why with Alyssa's story. At just the age of 19, what she's already achieved. Alyssa, start out with, though, put it in context for us all. Where do you live in Australia?
I live in Warwick, so it's a small rural town. We're about an hour away from Toowoomba and 2 hours away from Brisbane. Quite small, close knit, but yeah.
So it's primarily a farming area, isn't it?
Yes, home to one of the most famous rodeos, Fairy Country.
I've been there. Liz and I took our kids there to the rodeo. It's also got an awesome racetrack as well. So, and Toowoomba is the other side. Now, the reason I mention this is because Toowoomba is a big regional area in Australia, and it's that whole district is known as the Darling Downs, which is one of the most productive or most famous, what they call it, the food bowl of Australia, particularly when there's rain. But when there's a drought, a little bit different. But to put in context, Alyssa, for you, 2 years ago, you're in high school. What was your career path at that point? You're in Warwick, small country town, deciding what to do. What does someone of your age do out in a place like Warwick? I know Warwick quite well, been there many times. And my last memory is that just recently being out there on a really hot summer's day, it's a full-on country town. So I'm imagining you at the end of year 12, what were your options?
Yes, a few options. You can either grab a job, stick at it for a little and eventually work up the ranks or move around, or university. You can go online, try and study and get a part-time job. Or you've got to move away, either 2 hours away or on the other side of Australia.
Yeah.
Or to get a university degree.
And what did you do at the time?
At the time, everyone else was doing early applications for uni, so I followed along and I put in my application. I got an acceptance into a business degree. So that was all online. And yeah, I was just waiting on Christmas holidays.
Yeah. And well done. So you've always been interested in business then?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. So that was a driver. And so you got in, I take it you got into uni. What was that? Was that like doing, were you going to move away from home or were you going to do an online version?
I always had in mind that I wanted to stay in my hometown. I wanted to be close to family. I had my routine. I liked my little hometown. So I always wanted to do something online. So yeah, a uni degree online kind of seemed like the best option I had at the time. I didn't quite know what else I was going to do. So that just seemed to fall in place.
Okay, perfect. And what happened when you started uni?
Yes, I did 6 weeks of uni,
Yep.
all the introductory classes. I did a few major classes, kind of test the waters. Yeah, it wasn't quite the right fit. Yeah, getting a little bit bored. I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do with the degree after 3, 4 years of uni.
Mm.
So yeah, I was in that spot where I was like kind of looking for a different option.
Yeah. And so you quit, and even though you had a scholarship, you decided to quit and back yourself with digital skills.
Yes.
So it was I take it was around then that you start on our web dev program, did you?
Yes. I started on the web dev a few weeks just before uni had started, and I was kind of doing it in the background just as like a fun hobby.
Yep.
And then as I was going along with uni, it was quite a quick realization that learning this website building skills was going to be a lot more valuable than continuing on with my uni.
All right. Not that I'm encouraging anyone to quit uni or anything, but it is interesting, Alyssa. You said something to me off camera, and maybe our listeners might have had experience with this as well. I've noticed it with our kids. They're at uni as well, doing business, and my daughter does IT. But they said that they don't even get taught anything now. Our son was telling us for his business degree that the lecturer doesn't even turn up. They just give you these lessons on how to answer the assignments. It's
Yeah.
not particularly practical by the looks of it, in from what I'm seeing. And you mentioned you had friends that have found the same sort of thing.
Yes, yes, definitely. I've had a friend who's jumped around university degrees trying to find the right one.
Mm.
A couple have like moved overseas to get a bit of life experience. Yeah, there's all those different options.
Okay, so for you, pretty quickly you got into learning digital skills. You realized quit uni and back yourself. And I think, Alyssa, that's a really uh, you know good, smart move for you because it's obviously worked out. Fast forwarding now, so what are we 2 years down the track? So you've been on our Champions program for 9 months, where you've really immersed yourself in entrepreneurial training, and you've just landed this. It's actually a $12,000 job. Go, Alyssa. So this is why I want to celebrate this for you, Alyssa. This is a moment in time. So Alyssa has just started her entrepreneurial journey. And if you're listening, what I want you to see is how this journey can unfold and how it can unfold quite rapidly. Because you think about it, within 9 months, you've hit your first monthly goal. Tell us about this deal. Who was the client, and how's this turned into a $10,000 month for you?
Yes. So the my client, they contacted me through my website, which was exciting enough. My first
Oh,
lead without having to cold call or
yeah.
um so yeah, they reached out to me and they just really wanted someone local, someone who could pop down to the office and they could have a conversation with.
Perfect.
And the original design scope was to just rebuild their website. Yeah, the old one was out of date, a little bit broken. They couldn't upload listings. And all that was built. And they called me up about 2 weeks later and they wanted to add on this custom built online auctioning software onto the website. So yeah, great learning experience. Such a great interaction with the customer, and I yeah learned so much.
And how confident did you feel in doing that? Like it's pretty
At the
easy.
beginning, at the beginning, the conversations, I was quite nervous. But yeah, developing that client interaction, you get to know the business over, so many days and so many weeks of having meetings. It does get easier. But yeah, in the beginning, very, very nervous.
Well done, Alyssa. Like you think about it, you're 19, right? And you've decided to back yourself for a year. It's worked. And you're still just learning. Like worst case scenario, you walk away, you've got 10 grand or 12 grand. No, there's more, isn't it? You've got other clients. But want you to stop and think about this, a little bit of coaching for you. Alyssa, you've only got to repeat that 9 more times and you've pretty much got $100,000 a year job, well, the equivalent of your friends who are out there trying to work. And this is working from Warwick. This is a pretty exciting time. Like the ROI on this, the return on investment here, or your energy that you're putting into this, which is called ROE, I suppose, is actually quite mind blowing when you think about it. It's just no pressure, but you've just got to execute on because you've got the skills. You're very confident now building these websites, as you just proved by winning our 10-day website challenge within 45 minutes. How did that feel? Because that would have been it's a really cool website that you've built.
Yeah, I was in a bit of a rush. As soon as you announced, I was like, "Oh, I've got to get in, I've got to do it."
Completed it.
I'm a bit of a procrastinator, so I knew I had to get it done that day.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a rush.
Yeah, and you used AI to mainly to build that site.
Yes. I used ChatGPT to kind of brainstorm and help me think through about the website.
Yep.
And then I also used an AI assistant website builder as well.
Yep. Cool. And all easy peasy done within. And how many articles did you have done for us when you submitted that in the 45 minutes?
I finished 9 articles, so 3 for each category.
All right. So 3 for each category, plus you did the keyword research. So anyone in our community listening to this, you know what it's like to build a website. I think that puts all us oldies to shame, all us 40, 50, and 60-year-olds to shame. We all take days to do it. So and when Liz and I looked over that site, I can tell you it was absolutely 10 out of 10. Considering it was done within 45 minutes. By the next break, you'd already submitted it. And like Tony said to us, it was submitted within 45 minutes. Well done, Alyssa. That's easy. And it's a really good niche. We picked so it's in, do you want to share what the niche is?
Yes, it was in zero waste gift giving.
Yep. Really. So this is like a portfolio site. So this is one of your alternative assets. So also as a young entrepreneur, share something else. You've done another strategy. You've bought your first website.
Yes, my first portfolio website.
And what sort of a website was that?
It's a small sport niche about paintball.
Cool.
Just a little site to practice on.
Yep. And how much did that cost you?
$500 Australian.
So this is perfect to learn on. You think of what you're going to do at uni and stuff. It's kind of like it's an expensive textbook, I guess, and it can potentially make you money with it. That's a really cool niche. There's good affiliate offers in there, but even just to practice getting traffic to. And what was it like buying it?
Um, I had my site on it, and then it got bought up by another person in auction, and then that sale had fell through. And I saw it back up on the market, and I messaged the seller, and yeah, it was a great conversation just about what it was, what it could be involved into, and yeah, I couldn't sit on it any longer. I just bought it.
Cool. Well done. That's going to be a great learning site. And you bought that on Flipper, I take it.
Yes.
And you followed our due diligence process. I'm
Yep.
presuming it's not a perfect site, but obviously there's some good scope there to fix it up.
Yes, there's some content there, which is good. It's a good
Yep.
start, but lots of room to improve, which I'm excited about.
Awesome. So Alyssa, you're doing everything right here. This is perfect, and you're getting results. So where you're at now in life, you think about like making money and stuff for someone your age. Share with us what's it like out at work? What sort of jobs can you get, and what jobs were you doing before you started our course?
Before I started on Champions, I was working retail at a local jewelers,
Yep.
and I was lifeguarding at the same time.
Cool.
Um,
Lifeguarding in Warwick, so at the local pool. It just sounds funny of being a lifeguard in Warwick's an inland city, so inland country town, sorry. So yeah, lifeguarding. And was that well paid?
the lifeguarding was the retail job. It was just a small casual retail job, so yeah, it wasn't as well paid, but yeah, it was just a small part-time job.
Well, I want to read out what you said in your accountability to us when you told us how you've got this $12,000 job. Alyssa said, I'm still shocked at that number because it must have been a bit of a buzz to suddenly go, I'm earning $18 an hour, but now I've just made 12 grand in 1 month. That would be quite a mindset shift, wouldn't it?
Definitely. Yes.
So, so for you now, is this something you want to go all in on?
Yes. I love doing client websites and local business websites.
Yep.
It's you have a meeting with them and you get to know their problems and how you can help and what they're after and what their goals are. And it's such an interesting process to help a business walk through that.
Yeah. And I think, like I was saying to you on a private coaching call, I think it's worth you having if you're serious about this, I'd set up a vision for yourself of where you are in the next 5 years, and vision yourself as the leading digital agency in the Darling Downs area or something like that. And you're a hugely successful young entrepreneurial woman and well known for building brilliant websites, because you do you're building really good websites. You've taken, I guess, being younger, you've taken to this a lot quicker than us oldies, as evidence you can build a website in 45 minutes. Did you feel it was easy for you to learn how to build websites and to do all the tech digital skills as well?
Yes. While I was doing my part-time job, it took me about 2, 3 months to really grasp the whole process of doing a build.
Yep.
And then after that, you pick up little things as you do a client build. Oh, I need to fix that next time, or next time I can do this quicker. And you do pick up little tips and tricks, but the initial learning process was about, yeah, 3 months.
About 3 months. And how did you start the agency bit? Like how, so you're learning the technical skills off us, right? How to build these sites, and so 2 to 3 months and you're refining it. Obviously, you took to it very quickly. You've got a natural skill set for building really good websites. But what happened then? How did you go to, you're 19, you don't know, or do you know many people in Warwick?
Not business people,
Not yeah.
not that kind of area.
And so how did you get your first sales? How did you start talking to business people?
My first sale was a Instagram cold message. I sent about probably 80 to 100, and I got two replies, and one turned into a website build.
Right.
And the other ones have been word of mouth, people hearing about me in conversation, and then I've also had a few now come through my agency's website.
Perfect. And then I hope you got dad there hustling out there for you too. So Alyssa's dad is an electrician in Warwick, probably known by everyone, is my guess. I need to speak to him and say, Dad, get Alyssa more jobs. But is he out there talking about? He must be very proud of what you're doing here, Alyssa.
Yes, definitely a proud parent. He does name drop a little bit in conversation about the kids every once in a while.
Yeah, good to see. Well, it's been so quick though. You think so? So as we record this, Alyssa has just landed, getting these paid jobs, and they're quite significant already. And I think this is a beautiful thing here. You've now got proof of concept that if we dive deep into this, you can create a significant income being out there in Warwick. You can really establish yourself out in the Darling Downs, but also there are no barriers. So you think who you've built the website for, you could build those websites for any of those businesses. You could go to other country towns or even, regional city areas anywhere in Australia. You could be those clients because you just use Zoom to, as long as you can get talking to people, that's the bit you've got to crack. And you used Instagram. Let's go back to that for a minute. Was that to local people that you knew? How did you pick these 80 Instagram messages? How did you actually do that?
I looked onto my local Chamber of Commerce and I
Okay.
saw who was following that.
Yep.
And then I messaged a couple of them like, hey, you're new, do you want a website? Blah, blah, blah. And then I saw who they were following and they looked like a new business and just aiming for those like small, close, newer starting businesses.
That's a really good strategy, Alyssa. So you can roll that out. So that's the equivalent of doing our 100 call challenge, but you're doing it with Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay. So uh, within normally 100 call challenge, you're getting 1 to 2 leads out of it. So you got 1 to 2 leads out of 80 messages. Maybe you could roll that out. You could become the expert on getting leads through Instagram.
It's an option. I'll have to circle back to that. Yes.
Yeah. Maybe you can do the same on like LinkedIn's really good too for professionals and stuff like that. But you're what's the word? As a 19-year-old, you're natively more comfortable using Instagram, I take it. But
Much more than cold calling, yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And the other thing is maybe you should look at LinkedIn for a lot of us oldies, Alyssa, use LinkedIn in business. So,
Mhm.
but Instagram can work really well. So what things have you found as a young entrepreneur? You're 19 years old and female in a country area. You've never done this before, but obviously you've always wanted to be an entrepreneur and you're kicking some really big goals. Have there been any challenges on the way that can help someone listening to this?
Yeah, those initial conversations when I didn't have my any bit of confidence, those initial conversations with clients were a little tough. You could feel the resistance in them wanting to hire someone younger, and that's understandable. And I had to work through how I could turn the conversation into how much value I could provide their business instead of worrying about, my past experience, how I could help them right now in this moment. I
Awesome.
do wish, a couple of months ago, I had a little bit more belief in myself. I feel like that strong sense of self belief is really helpful in those conversations. Um, yeah, and especially in that time of learning, I wish I also had that little bit more of self belief in transitioning out of uni into a new skill as well.
Wow, that's really interesting because we're all sitting here going, far out, you've done it in 9 months and you're wishing you're wishing you had it the confidence earlier. And isn't it funny, Alyssa, being around the champions community, how I'm presuming in the last few months in particular, I think, I'm going to say it here, you've inspired a lot of people in the champions community. And I don't think half of them realize that you're only 19 years old just through your comments and your chats and your participation in everything that we do. And now people are realizing you're 19. And in the last few months, everyone's discovered how amazing you are at what you're doing here. And I guess that's given you a big boost of confidence as well.
Yes, yeah, I love having conversations with fellow champions. They come from such different areas of life, different
Yep.
experiences, and they all have like some little piece of advice that, you can take away and apply to what you're doing. And it's so incredible to meet everyone, and it's such a supportive community.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm just mulling around what you said. You wish you had that confidence earlier, yet it is a bit of this too, our idea, reps, reps, reps. I think that's the natural journey of an entrepreneur. I look at you at 19, what you're already achieving. And like I've said to you in private coaching calls, you're going to blitz this. You're going to be an entrepreneur. As long as you set that vision 5 years out and then another 5 years. So when you're 25 and when you're 30, and just go for it. And you're a natural at this. You're thinking, here you are wishing you had more confidence. It's like, oh man, at your age, we weren't in our first business. We were late starters for Liz and I. And it's interesting. It is what I've found is confidence is huge in online. So our mission here at eBusiness for listeners is to give people the digital skills, the confidence with digital skills, but also if you're new to business, is to give you in a gentle way, like what you're hearing with Alyssa experiencing, is just through doing reps, 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 is to give you confidence in business if you've never run a business before. And yet, I think you've brought up something really interesting there for sometimes it's easy for someone like me to forget how hard it is for someone that's used to the idea of working 9 to 5 and never owned a business. See, for me, confidence in business, I see business as a no-brainer. I think it's way safer than a 9 to 5 job. But you do need to, like you said, Alyssa, is get that confidence up. So imagine now with this confidence that you've got, what are this is an exciting future. What are the next, like, what's the next steps for you? What's the next things that you want to focus on?
My focus is definitely still on my local area. I
Okay.
really want to focus in on the Darling Downs, helping more smaller businesses get
Yep.
out online. I think it's really
Good.
important for small businesses, especially with AI and this, digital space that, they branch out, and we can definitely help them do that.
So, Alyssa, a couple of quick questions for you as a young entrepreneur. I know I've sort of already asked one of them, but what's the scariest thing starting out on this journey?
The scariest thing is the initial conversations, especially with people who have a little bit more experience in the business world. Yeah,
Yep.
those first initial conversations with experienced business owners.
Well, you're doing the reps and you're learning that, and you're getting plenty of runs on the board, and you've had some big wins. So you're going to be heaps more confident with that now going forward. So well done there. That's awesome. What's the easiest thing?
Easiest thing is, I think the easiest thing for me is to learning the technology, learning all the different techniques. I love that.
Okay.
So that's been the easiest thing for me.
Okay. And you're blitzing that. Like, yeah, that's a, and it, remind yourself too, Alyssa, you're an entrepreneur. You've always wanted to do this. You said that to us, like as a kid and everything. This is perfect for you. So I think that goes hand in hand with learning all the technology, because that's an important thing as well. Um, how much time do you spend each week? So let's break up the journey, because we should mention Alyssa, oh, and congratulations. You've just quit your job, haven't you?
A few weeks ago, yes.
Yeah. So now it's full time on this. Are you
Yeah,
full time on this?
I am. It's been a month now, 1 month full time.
1 month full time. Congratulations. So in the early part of the journey, how much time did you spend learning? Like, were you doing a couple of nights a
Um,
week or whatever?
oh, it was every night. Every night. I'd wake up in the morning, go to my part-time job, I'd get home and I'd watch one of Liz's tutorials,
Yeah.
and I'd practice and then I'd go to sleep, I'd wake up, go to my job, come back and do it all over again.
All right. Focus. That is awesome, Alyssa. So that's like our GSD. Well, our favorite saying, today I'll do what others won't. So tomorrow I can do what others can't. And look at you now, like 9 months down the track. So that paid off. That's,
Yes,
that's really
definitely.
cool. And I think I've already asked this. How did you get your first lead? And that was through you took the initiative and did the Instagram, sent out 80 Instagrams
Yes.
messages. Yeah, cold messages and they were cold messages basically.
Yeah. So I never spoke to the businesses beforehand, didn't know them, just cold outreach.
Okay, awesome. So, and final question, do you have any advice for someone starting out on the journey, young or old? Doesn't matter. Because you know our community really well. It's split up between young and old.
I'd say the reps, definitely. You've got to put in the hours to be able to see the results. It's not something I didn't learn it overnight. It's been months and months and months of continuously learning and continuously finding new things and new tricks and ways to go about it. So yeah, getting in that practice, which then fuels your own confidence, to then show others, what you've been building on and what you've been learning over these past couple months.
And did you work on lots of dummy sites as well?
Yes. Oh, I think I've built my own digital agency site about 20 times.
All right.
Lot, lots of practicing and reviewing and redoing.
Awesome. Yeah, that's good. That's what it takes. So, Alyssa, that was awesome. What a fantastic introduction and to yourself and to your success and what you can achieve in just 9 months. And also, what an interesting life path. I hope your mum and dad are very proud about what you've achieved here and you've backed yourself. It's a big, gutsy move to quit uni after just 6 weeks, especially when you've won a scholarship. Well done. And are you pleased that you did that? Was it the right move?
Yeah, very, very content with my choices. Yeah, quite proud of myself that I made the jump. Yeah.
Yep. Well done. And Alyssa, I can't wait to see your success. This is just, I'm sure as a listener, you can see this is probably just the first intro uh, interview that we're going to be doing here with Alyssa. I'm sure we're going to be hearing more from her over the coming year or years. But massive congratulations. It's a fantastic time to capture this moment in time. Big congratulations on your successful month and that you now know you can do it. You are a highly successful entrepreneur, digital agency owner as well. So, Alyssa, well done. Thanks so much for coming along today.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks.
And if you want to get started, if you're new to this, for some reason you haven't done our masterclass, that's where Alyssa started. That's where everyone started. And also, if you want to check out the course that Alyssa very first started through the e-business industry, it's called Web Dev Accelerator. You'll find it on our website. It basically teaches you how to build really good local websites. So get in there and check that out if you're new to our community. But awesome. Thank you so much, Alyssa. Can't wait to see you on the next podcast.
Thanks, Matt.